Um, sure, I can just do that in another window too. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to AFOL Spotlight Live here on Boone Builds. We have Jake SADOVICH with us tonight, right here on AFOL Spotlight Live.
Let's go! Climb aboard this proverbial Winnebago. We're talking about the awesome fans of Lego. So build your mock and shift it into drive. It's time for a full spotlight live.
Thank you all so much for joining us. This is a brand new format for Boone Builds. You are with us for the very first episode of AFOL Spotlight Live. Before we go on any further, you may be asking yourself, what is an AFOL? And it is the adult fans of Lego. We don't want to leave out any T-fols, or maybe there are some K-fols. That's T-fols is teen fans of Lego, K-fols is kid fans of Lego, and if some of those kid fans are watching with their folks tonight, we're gonna lump everybody in with awesome fans of Lego. I am here with Jake SADOVICH. Jake, how you doing, man? Good. For those of you who don't know Jake, he is maybe most well known as the fan designer for the Lego Ideas Ship in a Bottle set. Jake also had the Isle of Peril, was one of the successful AFOL fan design program with Brickin'Nick last year. How'd you feel about the ADP, Jake? Awesome. And Jake has a brand new set of instructions on Rebrickable that we'll talk about in just a few minutes. But first, I want to say hey to everyone in the live chat. I see Perry. Perry, thank you so much. We got Giovanna. It was great to meet you last week. We got Dave Morgan. Hey, if you're watching us live and I haven't mentioned your name, go ahead and let us know you're watching in the live chat there, and we'd love to see what you have to say. We'll try to take note of some of the questions that we might see along the way of the live stream here, and we'll hopefully engage you all in the live chat as much as we can. Oh, thank you very much. Trapjaw said can't hear Jake. Jake, can you give us another test?
yeah. Are you able to hear me now? Or did I screw it all up?
No, it was totally my fault. Totally my fault there. I didn't have Jake's microphone on. We'll wait just a second and see if anyone in the live chat can hear Jake now. I think Jake's audio should be working. Someone give me a thumbs up or something in the live chat. That'd be great. Jake, can you tell us, this is AFOL Spotlight Live. You are one of my favorite AFOLs. I'm glad to call you friend, but I also have an incredible admiration for your work. Can you tell us a little bit about, what is Lego for you? How did you get connected with the fan community? And then we'll talk a little bit about what you've got going on right now.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, by the way. Yeah. Um, as far as getting connected with the fan community, because I've been building with Lego pretty much forever. When I was a kid, I'd go over to my friend's house and play whatnot, and kind of never really stopped. Probably I want to say 2012, 2013, I started kind of growing my collection. and started building some. I found a few big lots, say like at a thrift store, and then I built a pod racer. I want to say it was 2014 when I was building it, and when I got done with that, I wanted to go show it to people because it was this huge thing that I thought was super cool, and I didn't really know that there was a whole internet community and a whole fan community out there. So I looked up to see, because I'd heard about conventions and stuff, and I don't think at that time I wasn't even on Bricklink yet. But yeah, so I just Googled and looked up for a fan convention, and there was one in Salt Lake City, Utah called Brick Slopes. So I went there in 2015, and that was kind of my first exposure to the greater group of AFOLs out there who are still building that I hadn't been in contact with before.
That's awesome to hear. I remember the very first time I met you, you were at Bricks Cascade, and the ship in a bottle had already been made a set by the time I met you. Is that correct? Or it was about?
Yes,
it was about
I believe
to be.
so. I think it was like right in that period.
Yeah.
Because I want to say that was 2018, like beginning of the year, right? So yeah, it was. I want to say February 2018 was when it came out. So I think it may have just literally come out.
Yeah, and the thing that caught my attention at that show, obviously you had the larger version of the original ship in a bottle, but the thing that really caught my attention was your pod racer. Man, that, I've pulled up a picture here, so the people viewing the live stream should be able to see it. That pod racer just got me really jazzed. Mark Crookshank and I, kind of dove on board and built a couple other, pod racers that were in, almost to the scale that yours was. I think yours,
they were to the same size minifigure, the Technic fig.
Oh,
so
man,
that was the other
Technic
thing
figs.
that I really loved about it, was that building something at a much larger scale for a double-sized figure,
Yeah, so you discovered AFOL fan events, and that's kind of how you started getting connected?
Yeah, for sure. And so I went to that first Brick Slopes in 2015, and I won a couple of trophies, and one for the pod racer got best of pop culture. So couldn't have been more happy, and my daughter and I went down there, and so that's been our tradition. We go to Brick Slopes every year together, and then I've since gone to other conventions, but other than Brick Slopes, I usually just go by myself.
Yeah,
So I've been to 2 Bricks Cascades now, and 2 Brick Cons. Last year I went to Chicago, Brick World Chicago.
How would you say that, like, the way you engage your Lego hobby, how has that changed since connecting with kind of this big fan or this big group of fan community?
Well, it's just having met a lot more people, I guess, who are into it. So learning from them, learning from each other, and I think it's made it a lot better. Because there's always, I've always enjoyed building, and I've always tried to make cool stuff that people would like, but having, I guess, more of an audience and being part of that same audience myself for other people's stuff has been just great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know you mentioned the scale of the pod racers, and I've got some Technic figures here. You love these Technic figures, right?
Oh yeah.
What kinds of things?
I still have 2 that I've had since that exact one was brand new, like in the early 90s that I got.
Yeah, somewhere in this bag are the 3 that I had as a kid. What
Nice.
Can you remind me, what other things have you built for the Technic fig scale? You've got some other
I
things, haven't you?
did a Naboo Starfighter N1 from Star Wars also. I did a classic spaceship, like classic space color theme, original spaceship for them, a speeder bike. I did a moon base that haven't quite finished. I took it to Brick Slopes one year, kind of half finished, but it had my whole spaceship and an airlock and half this whole moon base. I think that's all I can remember off the top of my head right now, but I think that's it.
I'm showing our viewers the Naboo Starfighter right now. It's pretty awesome. You got a story about how you came up with the idea for that build, right?
Yeah, that one was, and similar with the pod racer really too, as far as the Naboo fighter, I was just kind of looking at looking through my parts, just kind of tinkering around, and I had the big aircraft wing, and then I had that cement mixer. It's like a cement truck mixer, and I was kind of holding them up, and it just occurred to me that would really look like maybe I could do a Naboo starfighter out of it. And I came up with that idea like I think it was 2.5 weeks before that first brick slopes. So I wasn't actually finished with the pod racer yet. I had a little bit left to go on that, and then I pretty much dropped that, and I just, for the next 2.5 weeks straight, worked on that Naboo fighter. So like the day before I left, I did the last touch-ups on the pod racer, I got them all done, and went down there.
That's awesome. Dave Morgan in the live chat says great shapes on that mock. Perry was reflecting back. Perry was reflecting back to, I think it was that your first Bricks Cascade, saying Jake had a lot of cool Star Wars mocks that year. You came in, I think you...
Yeah, I brought a bunch.
You had the Jawa that was made out of like the constructible Obi-Wan capes, right? Yep. You had the speeder, the pod racer, and I remember you had those custom painted Mandalorians that were like the Teenage Mandalorian Ninja Turtles, or...
Yep, I think I might have had... Yeah, I had those ones. I had the ATST hangar that I called the chicken coop that was lit inside and had the kind of nanoscale walkers in it. And another, like a P-38 Star Wars ship, kind of World War II crossover. I had a bunch of Star Wars that year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just remember being blown away at all the different scales that you built in. And I think you brought stuff there that was... Did you bring any minifig scale stuff? Yeah, you had some of the custom minifigs. You had
Yeah, a couple, like the P-38 Star Wars ship is minifig scale. I rarely work in minifigure scale. I kind of just let the pieces drive. That's often what gives me an idea. So if a piece kind of suggests the scale of the build, I just work within that.
Right. So do you have let's talk a little bit about what you've been building lately.
Okay.
Do you have anything there that you can show us? You've got some stuff with you, don't you?
Yeah, I'll show you. I got... This one's not quite finished yet, but it's the Red Baron's Fokker DR1.
Oh, wow.
That's almost kind of just barely under minifig scale, but there's a minifig head popping up out of it. It's really kind of close. I've just got... I've got the sticker emblems up here and on the tail to get done yet. But it's mostly done. This one I resorted to a little painting, the wheels, because they only come in clear. So I painted that red. And then on these they're clear panels that I'm using here on the wings and for the struts. So those just have automotive pinstriping, so that I could get a better, more sturdy wing connection without using bars and clips that might not work quite as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, hold that up one more time. I had us on split screen. I'm gonna put you back on full screen so they can get one more look at that close up. That's rad.
Turn it around.
So you said you painted those wheels because they were clear wheels?
Yeah, it's the wheels from the wheelchair. I think they also came in the popcorn cart.
Yeah. So I know some people are really into customizing stuff. Some people are really, purist when it comes to not using custom stuff. Tell us a little bit about how do you sort of look at, using customized pieces in your builds. When do you, when don't you, and sort of what's your stance on that?
Okay, my main stance is that I own it, and you own yours.
Yeah. And
you can do whatever you want. But I mostly do try to use just strictly what's there. I try to work within that system, but once in a while, like that wheel on that, for example, I'll paint that because there's a billion of them out there.
Yeah.
And that's that's another litmus test for me. Am I painting a part that might be $20 on Bricklink, or a part that's 2 cents?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna paint that expensive rare part, but that wheel, whatever, or those clear panels. For that one, it's a little pinstriping. It's a sticker, whatever.
Yeah.
But usually, even then, I'll cut up Lego stickers. If you get a piece of your scrap where there's white or there's red or some black, I'll cut lines out of that and use it just because it's official Lego still. But once in a while, I'll paint up a minifigure or whatever.
Yeah, cool. Well, you gonna grab something else? I'll say hi to all the people in the live chat while you're grabbing something else. Hi, Judith Thomas. We've got Haley Bricks and Brickin'Nick. We've got Dave Morgan. We've got Perry in here. We've got Trapjaw23. We've got the True Dark Jedi. Navy Dog. How you all doing? Thank you all for coming out tonight. Brick Studio. I hope... Oh, we've got Hey, I'm a Bird. Thank you for coming out. One thing I'd like to ask everyone in the live chat... Should I, because this is the very first AFOL Spotlight Live, you are helping us kind of guinea pig this project. I'm wondering, should I run some faint music in the background of this live stream? Would that be helpful to the viewing experience, or would it be hurtful to the viewing experience? Hey there, Rick. Hey, Beyond the Brick. I'd love to know what you think about just having like a little bit of faint music in the background. I don't have it running now, but if I see enough people in the live chat telling me that might be a good idea, I'll probably try it next time. All right, what do you got there, Jake?
Yeah, could you use Nirvana or Modest Mouse?
No, I have to use...
Just a shout out, just a request.
Yeah,
I know.
I have to use unlicensed music.
I'll just go turn it on in the background. Yeah, so this one I just came up with is a collection of batarangs, and they're just kind of sitting on there, so I'll just move them around so they don't just fall off. But you've got the minifig batarang down there on the bottom, and then this one would be scaled for the new wooden figure. So I got these wings. They're off a newer Batmobile set, and I ordered them off a store, and they made me think of doing a batarang. But in the meantime, I remembered I had these even larger wings, and so I made one that's basically human scale.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And these wings are a bummer. They're kind of rare because they're only in 1 or 2 sets or something in that color. Yeah. But I lucked out, and I have found them at Bricks and Minifigs, so I didn't have to bricklink those.
That's cool.
So the whole kind of thing is on a stand with the 3 different sizes.
Nice. I think I have one of those big wings sitting around here somewhere because I bricklinked 2, and I used one in the back of a Batmobile that has 1 big wing and 2 smaller wings.
Oh, right.
So that left me with 1 of the large wings just sitting around, and I haven't figured out what to do with it yet. It looks like we have an overwhelming response in the live chat supporting no music in the live stream. So that's great. I'm glad I'm already doing what people want. Until someone tells me, different, I'll leave the music out of the live stream. So what about the Chibi A10? Do you have one there?
Oh, yeah, I've got it handy.
I'm going to start by showing everybody what you've got over here on Rebrickable. So this is Jake's... What do you call it? Little Bert.
Yeah, Little Bert. It's kind of I've been A10's been my favorite plane since I don't know how long. 10 years old or something. But, and I've wanted to build one for a long time, but it's kind of really a difficult one. And I've seen some out there, so I don't want to copy what's out there, but the window, let me take it off the stand so it's easier. Kind of what did get me finally started to build one was this window, which I believe is off a Republic dropship, and maybe a couple other sets. So the window kind of reminded me of an A10, but it would be like a cartoon or a chibi style A10. So everything's kind of shortened a little, looks a little cartoony. And all of these are on my Instagram and my Facebook and that. The Red Baron Fokker DR1, I'll have another post on that here pretty soon when I do finish it.
Yeah.
But this was a fun little project to get kind of some of the details. I used this.
Do you know where that...
for that tire there.
Do you know where that term chibi came from? I was saying chibi, but I guess I'm wrong. I don't. I
You know
honestly, I don't know where that came from.
I could be wrong too. I had to Google it and make sure I knew what I was talking about on that one. It's a Japanese cartoon style.
Okay.
Where it's like kind of almost means caricature. It's very like the people will have a giant head or very cartoony.
Right.
I mean, they're all cartoons, but this is more of a caricature kind of cartoon.
Yeah.
And then that sits on this stand. You got a guy, like the pilot figure there. And then it's got a ball joint on the stand so that it can pose kind of
however
you want it.
That's awesome.
So,
Jake mentioned his Instagram, and he's got some other locations. I put the Instagram up here. You're just Jake SADOVICH on Instagram, right?
Yeah, on pretty much everything.
And but there are more links to Jake's outlets in the description of this video. So if you want to check out Jake on Facebook or Instagram, or if you want a direct link to that Rebrickable page where he's got the A10, that would be something you could find in the description of the video. We've got a number of other links down there, and those are to kind of what's going to take us into our next segment. Before we move on, Jake, is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Your current stuff right now?
I don't think so. I got one more that I'm kind of hopefully maybe get done by Bricks Cascade, but I'm not sure because I'm kind of potentially moving or preparing to move shortly after that. So I may not get back to that one.
Okay.
So I'll keep it a secret for now.
All right. Sounds good. So now we're going to get into a segment, and this is sort of, I think I'll call this segment like what we've seen lately or cool stuff we've seen. And the segment will probably eventually have like a song to go with it, like cool stuff we've seen. I don't know what it's going to be. But that's where Jake and I will just kind of go back and forth a little bit, talking about like some of the awesome things we've seen from fans of Lego online. We're going to start with Jake. You saw this incredible dragon thing. I'm going to pull it up here for everybody.
Yeah, and I'll pull that up. Okay. Oh, yeah, I saw this on Instagram the other day, and it was just ridiculous. It's amazingly detailed, and it's hard to see. This is one of those builds that you take a picture of, and it's super hard to tell even how big it is. It's clearly massive. Like I think those shoulders on it, was that like a 8x8 dish or maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe a 10x10. I can't even tell.
Yeah, those shoulders, they're like those big, like rounded.
Yeah, the big
curved
round bricks with a big dish on it. So that just kind of alludes to how massive it is. And just the shaping on it, kind of that organic shaping with a lot of crazy parts that they're not 2x4 bricks,
Yeah.
So a lot of the slopes, and it looks like a ton of 3mm hose with clips and just all kinds of teeth and claws making up those shapes.
And those huge, massive teeth. I don't even know what element that is.
No, I couldn't tell either, unless I can find a better angle here.
We've got a really. Yeah, I'm looking at
I'm not even sure.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at the sort of the spine of this thing, and it's a really interesting combination of Technic panels, curved bricks, like sort of dinosaur tail elements. We've got just some, studs in there. Really interesting stuff. This, by the way, is called the Fire Gorgon by Andrew James Steele. His Instagram handle is Luigi1456Andrew. So you can find a link to this guy's Instagram in the description of this video. And yeah, this thing is amazing. You can kind of look at some of these are like some progress pics, and you can see this thing sitting on the floor of this guy's build room, and it looks amazing. It's probably I would guess it's 3 or 4 feet long.
Yeah, I would think so. Another picture I was just looking at is kind of the belly. So it looks like you've got those 10 by 10 nets with all the studs poking through them, so that you can just get whatever rounded shape you want there.
Right, and then he's got like
Kind of like,
lights glowing
yeah,
through, right?
yeah, and it looks lit up in the belly, so you can see that coming out, kind of like the neck and everything. Yeah, it's just nuts.
Yeah, this is amazing. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to another Instagram page. This is Tiago Catarino. This is a guy who was in Lego product design in Billund, Denmark until just recently. And Jake, the connection to Tiago for you is he was the Lego product design team member who worked on turning the ship in a bottle into an official set, correct?
Yeah, yes, he took the concept model and he designed what ended up being the official set.
So the reason I'm coming here to this, I'm gonna take away the AFOL Spotlight logo for a second here. One of the reasons I'm coming to Tiago's Instagram, number one, he jumped into one of my latest live streams. It was actually a few months ago, but he was in my live stream. He was engaging the chat over there, and seemed like a really cool guy. And then so I started following him, and I noticed that right at about the beginning of the year, he started doing a build a day. So he's putting out these little miniature builds each day, and it has really changed the look of his Instagram. So, I'm looking at everything from before the year. He's got a lot of parts, he's got some different sets, he's sharing different things. And now since the first of the year, he's just got these really, well photographed miniature builds, and I think he's got links probably in his about section he releases the plans for these little builds. And I think it's just notable when you come to someone's Instagram page and it looks this curated. He's definitely putting a lot of intention into making not just each build cool, not just each photograph cool, but the entire experience of his Instagram page, sort of this like seamless thing. And I think that's really cool. Did you look at these? Did you happen to have a favorite, Jake?
I'm not sure. Let me look at him real quick again. Yeah, so I've been following him because I saw him. He popped up on YouTube, and he had one of his first video was about why he left Lego and whatnot. And then he's kind of been, and you can see it in his Instagram page. So he's been sorting this massive collection and getting to where he work. And it looks like now he's got that pretty under control, pretty organized, so that now that he can just sit down and build stuff and take these cool pictures. The paint easel, I really like that. And the bench, and the flat screen TV. Oh, and the pool table. They're all just really cool little builds with really good detail for that really small size. And the treadmill. So yeah, it's been fun watching that all come together.
Yeah, cool. All right, so go check out Tiago's Instagram. You can find the link in the description below. The next one that we're going to look at came from Jake. You found this incredible Razor Crest from Matt Mazian on Flickr.
Yeah. You and I we were messaging, I don't know, last week or something. And you asked me to come up with some cool different stuff. So I just went on Instagram and started looking around, and this popped up like right at that time in my feed. So this looks like it's a render, because not, 5% of those parts come in that metallic silver color.
Right.
And I'm looking at the one where it's kind of a tan background and it's landed, and you got the Mandalorian and the Baby Yoda there.
Yep, everyone can see that, yeah.
Yeah, so at that scale, I mean, it's so well formed, and the render looks really good. So it's fun to kind of go through there and pick out what different parts were used. And like in the Mandalorian one, like the feet thing with those two little dots, I think in real life, that's a lime green 1x1 plate with two little prints on it. and the head is a 1x1 with like a black print on it. So
Yeah.
you change all that to metallic silver in Studio and then do a render or whatever other program you use. So it just looks super clean.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. There are a lot of times when it seems like some people present renders really well and some people present renders less well. And this certainly is one where, this guy has just created a really unique experience with these renders for this Razor Crest. Just want to take a quick second to say hi to a couple of the other people who have joined us in the live chat. We got Jay Jonas and Nico. We've got that T-Cat, Ben Khan. Thank you all for coming out. Ben Khan, I'm glad you're here. And I just made you a moderator. Okay. Not that I think we need a lot of moderators on this channel, at least at the moment, but hopefully we'll be in dire need of moderators on this channel sometime soon, because it's going to be, we'll see. All right, and then just the last couple things I want to touch on here. We've got a couple Lego Ideas projects, and the first one is Coraline's Pink Palace Apartment by Holly Watchman. And the reason I'm bringing this up now is because Leica, the studio, the stop motion animation studio here in Portland, Oregon, that made Coraline, just won not Golden Globe. What's the one they won? Did they win the Golden Globe?
I want to say that it was the Golden Globe.
Is the TV, right? It's 4 movies, but yeah, they won the Golden Globe, and they've been nominated for an Academy Award for their most recent film, The Missing Link. And Holly also has an incredible Missing Link mock that I didn't pull up for this, but I think her Coraline Pink Palace Apartments is notable because it is also, one of the older Leica Studios films. And it is getting dangerously close. Well, maybe not dangerously. Maybe 9,000 above is dangerous, but this is getting very close to the 10,000 supporters mark that she needs on Lego Ideas to get this thing considered to be a real set. And let me see if I can pull up. Yeah, these pictures are a little bit bigger. This thing, I know a lot of us have had the opportunity to see this in person. If you haven't, it's really special. I actually remember, I think I met Holly when she was in a Bricks and Minifigs, like looking for more pink parts, to build either this one or the second copy that she made of this model. And she's getting close. So if you haven't supported the Coraline Pink Palace Apartments, please go over to Lego Ideas. There is a link in the description of this video below. And then the other one that I would say is getting dangerously close, it's not here. The one that is getting dangerously close is Brickin'Nick's Tesla Cybertruck. This thing he published less than 2 months ago, and he is already sitting at 9,699 supporters. I think it's amazing, and honestly, this thing is gonna hit 10,000 before the end of the month. What do you think of it? What are your first impressions of the Cybertruck, and then tell us what you think of the mock?
Oh, of the Cybertruck and then the mock. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the truck. I don't know. I'm torn. It's like very Total Recall, which is cool in a way, but kind of, is it like too much different? I don't know. Obviously there's a lot of fans, so I don't, it's going to have that fan base. Definitely very interesting. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure on it. I could go either way, really. As far as the model, it looks great. It's a really good rendition, and he's got all the working features in it. The quad that comes out, the tailgate, everything lifts up, doors open, all that. So I think it's a really good looking model, and it's been really fun kind of watching it shoot up so fast. I mean, you said the end of the month. I'm thinking like 3 days.
Yeah.
until it hits. Like
I'm
2, 3, you know.
Yeah, I think I meant like we're not even gonna get to the end of the month before
Right,
this
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So and you and I met Brickin'Nick at Brickworld Chicago, and we got to hang out with him. Spent quite a bit of time with him running around Chicago, so it was so fun. And then to see him put this model up and have it just go this fast has been really fun to watch.
Yeah. That's actually, I think that's a great story to talk about on this show, because AFOL Spotlight Live, the purpose of this, the reason I want to do this show is to help fans of Lego connect with other fans of Lego. And I think when people hear our experiences of how we went from people who were interested in this stuff alone to feeling connected to this big global, really, fan community, I think it's huge. And that day we met Nick for lunch. Actually, it was breakfast. We met for breakfast. We were there with John Hanlon and Josh Hanlon from Beyond the Brick, and then it was you and me, and then we just drove into downtown Chicago, and we did like a full day. I think we walked 13 miles that day, didn't we?
Oh yeah, easy.
And we saw, we saw everything you could possibly see in Chicago in one day. Or how do I say that? Everything that you could possibly see in Chicago in one day, we got to see. You know, that's the kind of experience we had. And you know, I didn't know Nick before that, so now I feel like we could be lifelong friends. You know, and so we have these experiences. And so I would use that to really encourage anyone watching, if you're a fan of Lego, and this applies to so many fandoms, right? But we're talking about Lego. If you're a fan of Lego and you haven't Googled, in your area to see if you have a Lego users group, or if you haven't been to a Lego fan convention, it has been an incredible experience for me. I've had an incredibly deep dive in it. I wouldn't know Jake if it weren't for, going to these events and connecting. And it's just been a really special part of my life. Real quick, before we wrap up, Jake, I hope I haven't cut you off anywhere. I feel like I've spent more time talking than maybe I needed to.
No, that's perfect. That's your personality, and my personality is to be quiet. So
okay,
I think we got a good balance going on.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Jake SADOVICH, the Jake SADOVICH, of Lego Ship in a Bottle fame before we leave? We can wrap up with any questions. We'll see if anyone has any questions, but before that, I just want to thank you all, for joining us for AFOL Spotlight Live. If you want to be on AFOL Spotlight Live, if you want to be considered to be a guest sitting right over here like Jake is, or if you want to, have your, if you want us to take a look at your MOCs online the way we did with some of these others, or if you want to nominate some other incredible AFOL to be considered, there is a link in the description below. It is a link to my website. I'll just go real quick, boonbuilds.com. This is an evolving website, but one of the things we have here is the AFOL Spotlight Live submission form. So you can nominate yourself, you can nominate another, you can ask to be considered to be a guest on the show like Jake was tonight. And if you want to check that out, you can go to the link in the description below. So, a few questions here. Ben Kahn says, what is your next ideas set coming out? When is your next ideas set coming out?
I don't know.
You got it.
I don't have any projects that I built recently or am working on that I think would go up there. I had my Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine up there. It actually recently timed out. It got a little 2,500 supporters or something like that. So not bad. But I don't have one currently planned.
Sorry I was smiling so much while you told us that it timed out, but I was smiling because I loved that build so much. I'm sorry it timed out and didn't get the supporters it need. But, you've had a success with the ship in a bottle, with the AFOL design program with Brickin'Nick. And I'm sure everybody is just dying to see what will come from you next. I'll plug it one more time. He does currently have... maybe I lost it. Did I lose it? Oh, no, there it is. He does currently have on Rebrickable some plans for the Chibi A10 Warthog. Those are $5 for plans, Jake?
Yeah, I put it at $5.
Cool. All right, and it's how many pieces? 400 some odd pieces? 419?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember off the top of my head, and I don't have it pulled up, but yeah, that sounds about right.
419 pieces. Cool. Check that out.
Got it.
Looks like one last question. Oh, no. Rick V says, any teasers on your next build? I think you said you were going to keep the thing that might be done for Bricks Cascade. You're going to kind of keep it under your hat?
Yeah, just in case it turns into something where I think of something else and and I don't come back to it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because that's happened.
Can you give us any like discoveries you made? You don't have to give away like the theme of the build or like what the build is, but is there anything like a parts usage or something you found in building the new idea that you're excited about?
Parts. A lot of pearl gold.
Oh, okay.
Detail parts.
Awesome.
Steampunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Nice. Cool. All right, there you go. So there's some teasers, Rick. A lot of pearl gold, steampunk looking thing. And Perry says, can you tell the story about the custom wax stamp your boss made for you?
The custom... yes. So on the official LEGO Ideas set Ship in a Bottle, it has Tiago's, who we talked about earlier. It has his initials. At the time I got some, and it's a red like wax seal element, which he came up with, which I thought was really cool addition to the whole look of the Ship in a Bottle. But I did after that, after it came out, I got some pearl gold ones printed to have my initials on them. And then the second printing looked even better because they emailed me back. It was Minifig FX that did it.
Okay.
And they did like a more three-dimensional print, so it feels more like a wax seal rather than just having a flat print. And they came out great. So yeah, I got a bunch of those, and I was handing them out at conventions and stuff as like swag, basically.
Yeah, cool. Hey, well, Jake, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody in the live chat, thank you for watching. I think we could probably go a little bit longer in the future because this was our first one. I had some things I wanted to sort out. Actually, yeah, we will have a third segment in future episodes, and I'm thinking about doing like like maybe we could look at, another YouTube channel and highlight a different YouTube channel each week, or we could look at a Lego product designer and highlight a different product designer each week, or we could look at, a Lego journalist, someone who writes for one of the blogs or magazines, and kind of like have a rotating third, segment, a rotating third segment in each episode. So if you have any ideas for that, I'd love to hear them. You can reach me at boone@boonebuilds.com, or you can put it in the live chat and I'll get it later. But thank you all very much. We will be right here at the same time next week. It is we started at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 p.m. Eastern time, and you can put one of those into a time zone cruncher if you want to figure out what time it starts in your time zone. Please subscribe to Boone Builds. Check out those links in the description for Jake's stuff, and we will all see you next time. We will end here with one more look at the AFOL Spotlight intro. Thanks a lot, Jake.
Yep.
Let's go! Climb